Hello, my name is Alejandra Sofia Gonzalez Camacho, and I'm here to talk about the Tsarist regime under Nicholas II's rule regarding human rights and gender rights. To start off with, the Tsarist system developed over a long period. Just the Romanov dynasty itself lasted up to 300 years. This system meant that the Tsar and only the Tsar who governed Russia as an autocrat. They believed that they had this God-given right to do so and that their position and power was given to them by God. This system was supported by several features known as the pillars of autocracy, like the nobility, the army, and the church. However, the Tsarist regime was very, if not extremely, oppressing, violent, and dark. You couldn't oppose the Tsar's word, therefore the aristocracy, because if you did, you would have ended up killed or tortured. There were no rights to be respected because there were no human rights at all. There was no freedom of anything. The Ukraine made sure of this. The Secret Service police, they will work undercover, infiltrating groups that somehow might present a threat to the Tsar. As for the army, Nicholas could use it to oppress any form of strike. An example of this, we have Bloody Sunday, and although it wasn't under Nicholas' command, when Father Gapan led the peaceful protest towards the square of the Winter Palace, soldiers opened fire and did not discriminate, shooting children, women, and men, when the only thing these people wanted was some sort of change. They wanted better work conditions, they wanted some sort of freedom, they wanted rights that were not given to them. Nicholas was backed up with the nobility. They represented about 10% of the population, and they dominated the army in command and civil service, which helped the Tsar run the Russian Empire. Although some of them eventually turned against Nicholas at the end of his ruling. Regarding the other 90%, they were in the lower class because the middle class hardly existed. In a majority, they were peasants. During this time, there was a crisis of water. There was no water, therefore there was no food. So the people were actually starving out in the streets. Nicholas didn't care. He cared about maintaining the monarchy afloat no matter the consequences. So he was seen as an effeminate, nervous, indecisive, an evil ruler who viewed the world through the prism of a myth that presented him as a national ruler who would eventually restore a regime of personal patriarchal rule. As for the role of women, they were seen as their place was in the house. They had to take care of the house, they had to take care of their children, and it wasn't up until 1917 that gender rights began to emerge, when after the February Revolution, the fight for women's suffrage increased, along with the general call for the implementation of democratic reforms. In March 1917, the largest women's demonstration in Russia's history took place in Petrograd, led by Poliskina Shishkina Lavin, president of the League for Women's Equal Rights. The march was attended up to 40,000 women. So in July of the same year, women over the age of 20 were given the right to vote and hold public office. Their first opportunity to exercise this newly won right was during the elections of the Constituent Assembly in November of 1917, marking the start for the gender rights to be developed.